Alright, so we got our first taste of Quan Chi gameplay and Chameleon gameplay, and in this video, we're just gonna break down what we can see and hopefully get a feel for how they're gonna play and what they can do. So if you want to see the full trailer, it's just called Mortal Kombat 1 Official Quan Chi Gameplay Trailer, because I'm not gonna be watching the whole thing, I'm just gonna be going to the parts and, explaining what we see here. So let's just get right into this. So first things first, I actually want to talk about the intro. Not because of the animations, even though they're, pretty cool. I want to talk about Chameleon here. Because Chameleon, as you can see here, she's holding the size, Melina's, size, even though she's, looks like Katana, and then she changes to Jade, then she changes to Melina, and then she goes away. So that leads me to believe that Chameleon starts off as the Melina variation in all your matches, kind of like how Tremor always starts off in Aftershock, though she does seem very different from Tremor, as we'll see later. But yeah, so Chameleon probably starts off there, and then this whole cool combos, cool sequences, little stomp on the head. I think that's like a mid overhead, full screen normal, charges up a weird little like launcher, ends it. So let's just go back and take a look at this, because there is actually a lot happening in this whole sequence here. So first things first, he has this, I'm gonna assume is a low mid launcher, and this last hit is kind of gonna be like Smoke's back 2, 3, 4, where the last hit only comes out if you land the second hit. I'm gonna assume that's an overhead because he has that same kick later. He does it again, and it looks like, but except it goes like a mid overhead, which is pretty interesting. And he also calls in a Melina ambush assist. As you can see, it's an ambush because he is still in animation here. He didn't special cancel into that assist. And then she does her 2 hits, and then right here she changes variation to Jade, which is pretty interesting. And of course, Quan Chi ends this combo with his stomp, where he stomps the head. And I think that's going to be like the staple of ending Quan Chi combos, because look at this. He's right up next to him, so he can play Wake Up. We don't know how much hit advantage that gives, but I'm going to assume, like, yeah, it's Quan Chi's game right here on Wake Up. But I'm going to go back again just a little bit just to show how I think Chameleon works. So, unlike Tremor, she's not going to be able to just come in, cycle to the variation you want, and then go. She probably has to do one of the assists, and then from there, either you pick the variation that comes next, or it automatically cycles to a specific one without your control over it, depending on which assist that you did. So, like this ambush, for example, if that's how it worked, this Melina ambush would bring her to the Jade variation, and then so on and so forth. He stomps the head, and then right here, he does it again. That could be a high, but it looks like it hits overhead to me. And then he calls in the Jade assist, another ambush assist, and I'm pretty sure each variation is gonna have one ambush, and this is the one for the Jade variation. She gives him the anti-zoning special. So you can see here, he just walks up, full. What I'm assuming is gonna be a tracking full screen normal, like how he has in MKX and MK9, where he has those portals where he just has these like crazy far-reaching normals that he can anti-zone and zone with, and it's just gonna be really crazy. And then right here, he special cancels into this Serena-esque boomerang that hits twice. Because if you didn't know, this is what Quan Chi's animation is for when he calls in an assist cameo that he has to special cancel. Because you're gonna see it again later from when he special cancels into an assist again. So this is kind of like a Serena assist, except it looks like it hits mid 2 times, and you're probably not going to be able to duck it. And then while this is happening, Quan Chi is out of the animation, and he is charging up what's either a special or a normal, and it launches. So I'm gonna assume that this is kind of like a reptile back two, except this is gonna probably hit mid, I'm gonna assume, because I think if that hits low, that's gonna be kind of weird for it to hit low. I'm gonna assume that's like a mid launcher. I could be very wrong, but yeah, he charges it up like how reptile would charge up back two. And he did a full charge, and he gets a launcher, and he does a string here, or at least a normal, that he special cancels into whatever this move is. This also looks like it hits low, so he's gonna probably have some like 50-50 with this tentacle, and I'm gonna assume this tentacle is super minus on block. And he slams him into the ground. Alright, now he's gonna play against Scorpion. He does like a mid-mid into that Melina assist. Projectile, Katana. He has the air projectile. His block animation is pretty funny. Cool Jade throw. So again, there's quite a bit happening in this sequence here. And let's just go right through that. So, immediately, this button, it looks like a mid. I'm gonna assume that kind of like, well, probably not like Omni-Man. This is gonna be his mid string where it's gonna be fast, but has no forward momentum. Yeah, let's go back a bit. So, right there, I'm gonna assume that's his mid string because when it comes to Mortal Kombat games and just NRS games, typically it's you have a mid string that's either very fast but stationary or very slow but forward moving. So I'm gonna assume Quan Chi's is this one where it's fast but stationary. He hits twice, and he special cancels into this Melina assist that launches. He has a 2-hit air combo, another 2-hit air combo, except this one bounces. Earlier he had like a 2-3 that was like a hit into a drop kick that just got hit advantage. And this bounces, and then when Melina when the Khameleon disappears, she actually changes into another variation. I don't know what that. I think that was probably another normal. And here's the other like this is probably like 2-3, and the other one that bounces is like 2-2. If we go back here, this one probably gotta be 2-2, except this one bounces, or maybe it's 1-2, normal, and he goes into like a 2-3 or something, and this one gives him hit advantage, so he can play wake up and set up some like portals and buffs. There's his skull, and then right here, that is a special cancel assist because he's in the animation, and it's a Katana fan toss. So she went from the Melina variation to Katana variation, which leads me to believe that once you do an assist, you choose, like somehow you choose which variation she goes into. And then right here, he does his little air skull, his little air projectile, kind of like Tanya's air projectile, except this one's angle goes full screen instead of the super sharp angle that Tanya has. Funny block animation with that skull. Throw. As you can see here, she's changed into the Jade variation, so she has this throw animation. Full screen. Alright, so the next sequence, he's doing that mid again. Here, I'll let it play out, my bad. There's that full string. That's a crazy move. This Shang Tsung is pressing buttons, getting owned up. Down 2. Dash up throw. Katana variations throw. Alright, again, there's a lot happening in this video. So this whole sequence here, I think, is the biggest taste of what Quan Chi is going to be doing in like all of his matches, or like what he wants to do. So right here, he starts with that mid again. And I'm going to assume his mid is either going to be a 50-50 or it's just going to be, you know, mid overhead. Because right here, he does the mid and he goes into an overhead. I'm assuming that's an overhead. And I'm going to assume there's a low version where he just kicks out his opponent's legs. But this overhead version actually allows him to special cancel into this low tentacle that is a launcher when it's enhanced. Does the air string again, that 2 hits, launch that bounces. This funny string where he summons a skeleton from the ground and it pushes them full screen. And this is where it gets crazy. He amplifies this special, and I'm gonna assume you can block it. Although maybe the Shang Tsung was blocking. I'm gonna assume the Shang Tsung is not blocking, and he's a scrub. And maybe it'll work like Rain's whirlpool. But yeah, this is crazy. So either it's gonna be a blockable special, whatever this trap is, or it's gonna be an unblockable special, but it like costs 2 bars a meter. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's gonna be like the Havoc back forward 2 enhance where it costs a lot of resources, but at the same time, Quan Chi does another sequence here where he uses like another 2 bars of meter. So I'm gonna assume this costs 1 bar and you can block it. But yeah, this is crazy. So you see right here, the Shang stands up right into it. And again, speculation, I'm going to assume that you can put this trap anywhere on the stage and it's just going to be there as a hazard for like, I don't know, like a few frames so that your opponent has to be aware of that and you can control the spacing a bit. But Shang Tsung is in this animation where he's like scared, but Quan Chi is doing shit over here. Like, look, the amount of hit advantage he has. He's put Shang Tsung in a literal jail, and he's able to buff himself up with this portal here. And was that an enhanced? No, it's not even an enhanced version of the portal. So that is basically a guaranteed setup that Quan Chi gets to get this purple portal out and buff his specials. Shang Tsung's trying to get out, he can't. And I'm gonna say that the regular version of his projectile becomes those 3 hits. And we're gonna see here he enhances the projectile while he's buffed up. And it becomes this big skull that eats through other projectiles and gives him a hella hit advantage if someone tries to like get in on him while he's doing all this stuff here. And then he's able to put down another portal, and this enhanced version of the buffed skull, the buffed projectile, actually teleports Shang Tsung into Quan Chi, and he has this one set up here, this buff. So he amplifies again. So he's amplified 3 times in this sequence. First time was the trap on the ground. Second time was the first enhanced buffed skull. And here's the third time, another enhanced buffed skull that even from the air version actually teleports you to Quan Chi, and he does a down 2 to finish it off. But just that whole sequence is just, it's so cool. And of course, the katana variation throw. Let's just watch it play out. I'm gonna assume that's like an overhead, or maybe that hits mid. And fatal blow. Kind of like the Shang Tsung fatal blow from MK11. Zero issue, boys. Breaks your spine. And then it goes into the fatality. So I'm gonna assume this is like his 1-2 string. And that's gonna be high. This is gonna be mid. That is probably gonna be a pretty far-reaching mid. And he special cancels and enhances this drop version of his skull. And I'm gonna assume it's kind of like Shang Tsung's ground fireball, where he'll have a normal version that just kind of staggers and pushes people back a bit, and this enhanced version launches. And this is the crazy part to me. This chameleon assist seems, to me, this seems really good because essentially it's the katana tornado, except instead of launching your opponent with it, she launches you, and it's an ambush. So the way that essentially works is it's like jump canceling from any launcher. So if you do like a down 2 under like a high or something, you don't have to spend meter to jump cancel. You could just like somehow, even though it's really, really difficult, confirm that down 2 into this ambush, and you can just jump cancel from any launcher, any string, any special. And that seems like wow. Like that's really crazy. Like reptiles, I forgot what that string is. The one where he turns into his lizard form and he knocks them super far back across the screen. if you were to use this assist with that, I'm gonna assume Reptile could probably jump cancel that string and continue a combo somehow. And he does that like 1-2 bounce again, does his jab into fatal blow. I'm gonna assume this fatal blow hits mid because you know, it's like I don't think it's gonna be like this one hits overhead, this one hits mid, this one hits low. No, I think it's just a really big mid. Because as you can see here, it's this one hit, not this portal, not this portal. Because the effect is from this top one, that means all three of these are the hitbox of this fatal blow. So if people try to like jump in on you, this one hits and it comes out first. This one is like hits low crouching people, I guess. And then this one comes out last. So it goes top portal, bottom portal, middle portal. So yeah, that is a very, very big fatal blow. And then, we already saw this. I'm going to skip past it because it's kind of a long animation. Here, we can watch the Zero Issue Boys get summoned real quick. Well, before I talk about the Peacemaker part, I want to talk about this. So, Quan Chi is available December 14th, right? Like the same time that Omni-Man was available in November. But Chameleon doesn't come out until January. A whole, or not a whole month, but like half a month away. And it depends what day she comes out in January. I'm gonna have to assume it's gonna be like January 1st or something. But that is because like Tremor came out, what, a week after Omni Man? She's not coming out until like uh 3 weeks at least. Here's John Cena.
Fight me, not fight. Beat senseless.
So yeah, I think that was just a because Peacemaker I believe is the next character. It goes Omni Man, Quan Chi, Peacemaker, Ermac, Homelander, Takeda is gonna be last. So yeah, they're just teasing Peacemaker as the next one, but also probably to show people they got John Cena to voice him. But yeah, that is it for this trailer gameplay breakdown. Quan Chi looks like his MKX self in terms of his gameplay. He's got the portals, he's got the full screen normals, he can buff himself up to do some crazy sequences like this whole one here. Yeah, it's just, he looks great. He looks like a lot of fun. He looks pretty strong. Like he's gonna be like kind of like Omni-Man where it's gonna be hard to zone him out because he himself he's a zoner and he has tons of ways to get in, like his portal drop where he stomps on your head and he can buff himself up to bring you to him. But yeah, Quan Chi just looks like a lot of fun. Obviously, in this trailer, none of these characters are blocking. They're all scrubs. So we can't really get a feel for how certain strings or certain specials will hit on block. And, we can't really tell what's going to be plus and what isn't. But yeah, that is it for this breakdown. I hope this is somewhat helpful in some sort of way. And I guess I'll see you on next time when Quan Chi is out. And that's going to be very, very fun. Thanks for watching. Also, thanks for subscribing, all of you people. I forgot to say that. This channel you guys have been subscribing and liking the videos, and I haven't even been asking. So, I just wanted to say thanks for that. I'll see you next time.